She was only 3. She barely said a couple words. She didn't bother nobody.
Blunt force trauma. Blunt force trauma. A 3-year-old autistic baby. I didn't cry so much. I don't even know if there's no more tears left in there.
Just the thought that she suffered. I can't get that out of my mind. She suffered.
Detroit had 420 child abuse cases that year alone. But this one made even the detectives sick. Because Harmony Henderson was 3, autistic, couldn't even speak. And the person who was supposed to protect her locked her in a room to smoke weed, then murdered her when she got sick. Girl, when I tell you this case made me physically ill, we're talking about a baby, a defenseless baby who couldn't even tell nobody what was happening to her. And the person who did this? Somebody the family trusted, somebody they'd known for years. You're watching Unheard Cries TV. We tell the stories that need to be told. Domestic violence, toxic relationships, and the lives lost when trust turns deadly. No sugarcoating, no excuses, just the truth. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button and join us as we shine light on the stories the world tries to forget. This is the story of Harmony Henderson, and I'm warning you now, this one's gonna hurt. Harmony Henderson was 3 years old. She had autism, which meant she couldn't talk. Couldn't tell you if she was hungry. Couldn't tell you if she was scared. Couldn't tell you nothing. She lived in Detroit with her mama, Paris, England, and her father, Maris Henderson. They were doing what every parent does, working, trying to provide, trying to make it. And like a lot of working parents, they needed help with childcare. Because let's be real, daycare is expensive. Babysitters cost money. So when you got somebody you trust, somebody who's been around your family for years, you lean on them. That's just reality. For Paris, that person was Aisha Harris.
What happened today? I hit her. I said, 'cause she hit you, huh? Nope. Did she say something mean to you? She didn't get a chance. What happened?
30 years old, not some random babysitter off an app. This was a family friend, had been for years, long enough that Paris never questioned it, never thought twice.
I would never in a million years thought she would do this to my baby.
Never in a million years. Aisha had watched Harmony plenty of times before. No issues, no problems, no red flags, just another trusted person helping out a working mama. So when that Sunday came and Paris needed someone to watch Harmony, the decision was easy. Drop her off at Aisha's house on Detroit's west side. Simple. Except it wasn't simple. Because that Sunday, Paris made a decision that would haunt her for the rest of her life. Here's what went down that Sunday. Aisha Harris had Harmony at her house. She also had her own 1-year-old baby there. 2 small children, 2 babies who needed supervision, attention, care. Basic human things, right? But Aisha had other plans. She had a friend come over. They wanted to smoke weed. Now look, I'm not here to judge nobody for smoking. Adults do what adults do. But when you got 2 babies in your care, when one of them belongs to somebody else, when one of them can't even speak to tell nobody if something's wrong, you handle your business first. Aisha didn't do that. Instead, she took both children, Harmony and her own baby, and locked them in a bedroom, shut that door, left them in there for 3 hours while she sat in another room getting high with her friend. 3 hours. That's a long time when you're 3 years old. A long time when you can't talk. A long time when you're locked away and nobody's checking on you. And that's when everything went left. At some point during those 3 hours, Harmony got sick. She threw up on herself. Now babies throw up. That's what they do. It ain't pleasant, but it happens. You clean them up. You comfort them. You make sure they're okay. That's what a caregiver does. That's what a decent human being does. But Aisha Harris got mad, got frustrated. Paris would later say, I think she got frustrated with her, and then, plus her daughter, and she slammed my baby's head against the tub. That's exactly what happened. But it was worse than just that. Aisha took Harmony to the bathroom, put her in the bathtub, and this is where it gets real hard to talk about. This is where you gotta brace yourself. She poured scalding hot water on that baby's face, on her head, hot enough to burn, hot enough to hurt. And Harmony couldn't even scream properly because she couldn't talk like other kids. She was defenseless, completely defenseless. But Aisha didn't stop there. She took Harmony's head and smashed it into the side of the bathtub. Not once, multiple times. Blunt force trauma is what the autopsy would call it later. Blunt force trauma to a 3-year-old autistic baby who couldn't speak, couldn't fight back, couldn't do nothing but suffer. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine the pain, the confusion? Harmony didn't understand what was happening or why. All she knew was hurt. And then after all that, after burning her, after beating her, Aisha just left her. Didn't call 911, didn't call Paris, didn't do nothing. Later that day, Paris did what any mama would do. She video called to check on her baby. She wanted to see Harmony's face, wanted to make sure everything was good. When Aisha answered that call, Harmony was still alive. But she was hurt, badly hurt. And Aisha lied straight to Paris's face, told her Harmony fell down some stairs, just missed a step, bumped her head, nothing serious. She told me everything was okay, Paris remembered. I sent her through the video chat. She was okay. Except Harmony wasn't okay, not even close. But Paris had no way of knowing that. She trusted Aisha. She believed her. That night, Harmony died. Somewhere in those dark hours, that baby took her last breath, alone, in pain, in a house that wasn't hers, with a woman who had just beaten her. The next morning, Paris showed up at Aisha's house to pick up her daughter. She walked into that bedroom where Harmony had been left, and her baby was just laying there, motionless, cold. Yeah, she was already dead from the moment I got there, Paris would say, her voice empty. Yeah, she was gone. Gone just like that. A 3-year-old who'd been alive and fine the day before was now dead, and 911 still hadn't been called. Aisha had let that baby die and said nothing, did nothing. Paris and Aisha ended up rushing Harmony to the hospital, but it was too late. Way too late. There was nothing doctors could do. Harmony Henderson was pronounced dead, and the truth was about to come crashing down. Now we're at the hospital. Harmony is dead. Paris is in shock, and Aisha is standing there knowing exactly what she did. Detroit Police Captain Lori Carter leads the Special Victims Unit. This woman deals with domestic violence, sex crimes, child abuse, the worst of the worst. She's seen things that would break most people. But when she got the call about Harmony Henderson that Sunday, when she arrived at that hospital and saw that little girl's body, even she was shaken. Just matter of fact, professional. But you could hear it in her voice. This one hit different. When Captain Carter was asked how disturbed she was by the details, she didn't hesitate. I was very disturbed. Nothing like this should ever happen to a child. Nothing like this should ever happen to a child, period. But it did happen. And now the police had to figure out exactly what went down. Here's the thing about investigations like this. The evidence doesn't lie. Harmony's injuries told a story. Burns on her face and head from scalding water. Blunt force trauma to her skull. This wasn't an accident. This wasn't a fall down the stairs like Aisha had claimed. This was violence. This was rage acted out on a defenseless child. And when Detroit police started questioning Aisha Harris, she broke. She confessed, told them everything, about locking the kids in the room, about smoking weed for 3 hours, about Harmony throwing up, about losing her temper, about the bathtub, about the hot water, about smashing that baby's head into the tub. She confessed to it all.
So tell me from Friday, tell me what happened all the way up until yesterday.
Well, Friday, me and my friend was texting or whatever.
Who is your friend? You gotta tell us everything because we don't know who you're talking about. Okay?
Paris, England.
And that is
the mama of
Harmony's
the
mom.
Yes.
Okay, so Paris, go ahead.
Okay. So me and my friend Paris was texting Friday or whatever, like normal as we do. So she was like, these damn kids getting on my nerves and this and this and that. So I texted her and said, you want me to get the baby? She was like, yeah, if you can. So I said, yeah.
So he left at 7. You went in the room and you realized she threw up.
Yeah.
Where did she throw up at?
On the bed.
On the bed. Did you change the sheets at that point?
Yeah, because I was about to lay back down. Like, at this point, I'm sleepy. It's time for them to nap, too. You know, I don't want this.
Because it's like, what time? He left at 7.
Yeah, 7 something going on 8. Yeah,
Okay.
so it's time for a nap or whatever.
So about 8 is when you realized she threw up.
That's when I was about to lay down. She was still in her little spot laying down and everything, too. That's when I moved the little cover, put my pillow down. As soon as I put my little leg like this,
was it a little bit of thought?
no, it was a lot with food that fall down all of them because I heard her little feet.
So how many would you say she fell down?
Not for sure.
Okay. Would you say she was halfway down, all the way at the top? Because yo, boom, 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 sound like a whole bunch of stuff.
Watching the TV, I'm on the bed just watching my phone, laying in the bed or whatever. So I'm back there doing her, like making noises, like she about to go to sleep, normal stuff she do, twirling her feet, all type of stuff, her pacifier, normal stuff. My baby watching TV. So I turned around, she was eating a fruit snack. I ain't paying no mind, whatever, so I'm on my phone still, you know. So I'm like, okay, I don't hear her no more. Turned around, she was laying on the pillow like this. I'm like, okay, she sleeps, so I ain't paying no mind. And I hear my friend coming in the house, she got a key to my house or whatever. So she ain't know the code or whatever, so I'm trying to beat her to the door if I could push the code in. Don't nobody want to hear that, but...
That's what, for alarm?
Yeah.
Okay.
I do that. No,
well,
you making it seem bad. Like I just said, all right, whatever.
Well,
no, I ain't mean it like that.
We just want to give you a chance to tell your story, Aisha.
The only thing I can say, maybe the water was hot. That's the only thing how this can get up there. Other than you talking about me beating that damn baby head or how she got trauma to the wood, however you said it. I know that for a fact I did not do that. Me, this probably, yeah, no.
Would you be willing to take a polygraph?
What's that? Well, I'll take that. Most definitely.
You will?
Okay.
All right, well.
Most definitely will.
You will?
Yes, I will. If it's gonna set me free, because knowing that I say I didn't hurt that baby, yeah, and I don't know how y'all gonna put this, the water was too hot, yeah, maybe I did that, but me killing that baby in her brain, I would like one. I would like one. I will. But me looking at that picture like that, that's messed up. And it didn't look like that. The picture's making it look worse. When parents got to get her head ain't look like that earlier. It didn't look like that. It did. It didn't look like that. It was red, but it didn't look like that. It didn't look like that. Oh. Can you please give her a hug for me? I'm probably not, but
You think I wouldn't?
I don't know. I don't know, my friend, and she probably tell you, oh, my friend not like this. What was she going through? She have her all the time. I don't know what I be. It wasn't a weed. Like I smoke all the damn time, but I barely eat, so. Damn, they need a new coat.
I mean, we can, have you talked to her, but if you want to write a letter to her.
I want to get my friend a hug. She might punch me in the face.
Well, we don't want that to happen.
Well, I accept it. I would accept it.
Would you want to write a letter to her?
No, I don't want no letters. I wanted to come out my mouth.
Okay, I hear you.
Why not? Maybe come in and you can
I'm take this jacket off. Or...
Yeah, just freaking. If you're comfortable with it on for right now, we'll eventually take it off.
Okay.
We gotta sit next to
okay. Sorry.
So, what kind of person do you think would assault a child? Good person, bad person, frustrated, tired?
A crazy person, I've been watching the news all of that. A lot of years been going past. Like how people hurt a kid. Like I don't understand how can people hurt a kid, but.
So why do you think they would?
That's why I don't know. Maybe they tired of the dang on kid. They don't want it. I'd be having a lot of questions and a lot of little things. I don't know.
And the only reason they'd accuse you of doing this is you had custody of the child at the time. The baby was in your care at the time.
Yeah, I had her. No?
Yeah, but everybody deserves a second chance,
Yes,
right?
yes, I should. I should get a second chance.
I think you should.
Yes, I should, and I should
don't
not
think
go to
this is-
prison. I have a daughter. At least tether something. I don't know.
The test is begun. Please remain still. Are the lights on in this room?
Yes.
Do you believe that I'll only ask the questions we reviewed?
Yes.
Regarding the injuries to Harmony, do you intend to answer truthfully each question about that?
Yes.
Have you ever hurt someone who loved or trusted you?
No.
Did you strike Harmony in the head, causing those injuries?
No.
Have you ever hurt someone to get even with them?
No.
Did you strike Harmony in the head?
No.
Have you ever hurt someone out of anger?
No.
Even though I've said I would not, are you afraid I'll ask you a question about something else?
No.
Test is over. Please remain still while I take the instrument out of operation. Looking good. So we should just have one more to do, okay?
Okay. Because I feel like I was a statue. My stomach kept breathing. I'm kind of holding in. I'm like, okay, let me just breathe.
You're looking okay. You look good. We got the...
Oh my God. Then this thing, I'm feeling my heartbeat. Then I feel this. Then I heard my heartbeat. I'm like, I'm hearing it. Okay, I'm doing good.
Yep.
Okay. Oh my God. I feel like I'm messing up. Like I'm just not
You
doing
did fine.
Okay, as long as I'm doing fine.
Just keep doing it.
Okay. It's like I can hear my heartbeat over here.
Moving on to what happened next, because this is where it gets even more painful for the family. Maris Henderson, Harmony's father, had to sit down and read his daughter's autopsy report. Can you imagine that? Having to read in medical terms how your child died, what was done to her, how much she suffered. He got to the cause of death and he said it out loud.
Blunt force trauma. Blunt force trauma. A 3-year-old autistic baby.
His voice broke. Because how do you process that? How do you wrap your mind around the fact that someone you trusted took your baby and beat her to death?
I done cried so much, I don't even know if there's no more tears left in there.
Because the pain was too deep for tears at that point. It was just emptiness. Just shock. Just the nightmare of knowing your baby suffered and you couldn't stop it. Paris kept replaying everything in her mind. The video call. Aisha saying everything was fine. Harmony sitting there, looking hurt but alive. If Paris had known, if she'd had any idea what Aisha had done, she would have gotten there sooner. She would have called 911. She would have done something. But Aisha lied, looked her right in the face through that phone screen and lied. From my knowledge, it was just a fall down the stairs that she just missed her step, and that's all it was. She told me everything was okay, and that was it. Like I sent her through the video chat, she was okay. Except she wasn't okay. She was dying. And Aisha knew it. That's what makes this so hard to stomach. Aisha had hours to do the right thing, hours to call for help, hours to try to save Harmony's life, but she didn't. She let that baby die alone in a bed, then acted like she didn't know what happened. Detroit police made it clear, if you're ever overwhelmed, if you're ever frustrated with a child in your care, you call 911. You call for help. You don't hurt them. You don't ignore them. You get them help. But Aisha Harris made a different choice, and now a 3-year-old was dead. Aisha Harris was arrested and charged with murder and child abuse. They took her into custody, and she was held without bond, meaning she wasn't going nowhere. She was staying locked up until her case went to trial. When she showed up for her first court appearance, she was remanded to custody. The judge wasn't playing. The prosecutor laid out the evidence, the confession, the autopsy, the timeline. All of it pointed to one thing. Aisha Harris had killed Harmony Henderson. That first court date happened on the same day as Harmony's viewing. While the family was at the funeral home saying goodbye to their baby girl, Aisha was in a courtroom in an orange jumpsuit facing murder charges. The funeral happened the next day. Family and friends came out to say goodbye, to mourn a life that was stolen way too soon. People were angry, hurt, confused. How did this happen? Why did this happen? And the answer was simple but terrible. It happened because Aisha Harris chose violence over compassion. She chose rage over responsibility. She chose to hurt a defenseless child instead of asking for help. Eventually, Aisha Harris made a decision. She decided to take a plea deal, plead guilty to the charges, murder and child abuse. She knew the evidence was stacked against her. She knew her own confession had sealed her fate. So instead of going to trial, she admitted what she did. But that didn't mean the sentencing hearing was going to be easy. Oh, it was about to be a whole situation. The hearing was set. The family was ready to face her in court, ready to tell her exactly what they thought about what she'd done, ready to look her in the eyes and make sure she understood the pain she'd caused. But Aisha had other plans. When it came time for the sentencing hearing, Aisha Harris refused to come into the courtroom, said she didn't feel safe, said it was because the news cameras were there and she was worried about her safety. Let me tell you something. The judge was not having it. Judge Kelly Ramsey called out Aisha's excuse for exactly what it was. Disingenuous. Because here's the thing. Aisha's mugshot had already been all over the news. Her face was already known. This had been a press case from the beginning. This has been a press case before. So her face is known, the judge said. So what was the real reason Aisha didn't want to show up? She didn't want to face that family. She didn't want to look at Paris and Maris and see the pain in their eyes. She didn't want to be held accountable in that moment. That's what it was. The courtroom was packed. Nearly 30 Wayne County Sheriff's deputies lined the walls. Why so many? Because at the last hearing, things had gotten out of control. A brawl had erupted between the families. Deputies got hurt trying to break it up. So this time they weren't taking any chances. The tension in that room was thick. You could feel it. The family was grieving, angry, hurt. They wanted justice. They wanted Aisha to feel even a fraction of the pain they were feeling. After some back and forth, the news station agreed to blur Aisha's face in their coverage to keep the hearing moving, to prevent any more delays. Because at the end of the day, this family deserved closure. They deserved to have their say. So Aisha finally came into the courtroom, and the family got their chance to speak. One family member stood up and said what so many were feeling. She was only 3. She barely said a couple words. She didn't bother nobody. That's what hurt the most. Harmony wasn't doing nothing wrong. She was just a baby, an autistic baby who couldn't even speak. She wasn't causing trouble. She wasn't being bad. She threw up because she got sick. That's it. And for that, she was tortured and killed. Another family member spoke about the suffering, about the images that wouldn't leave their mind. Just the thought that she suffered, I can't get that out of my mind. Because that's what haunts you. Not just that Harmony died, but that she suffered, that she felt pain, that she was scared and hurt and didn't understand why. That's the part that keeps you up at night. That's the part that breaks you. Then Judge Ramsey held up a piece of paper, Aisha's so-called apology letter, and the judge did not mince words. But the 6 letters here, I'm sorry, barely reaches an apology. 6 sentences. That's all Aisha wrote. 6 sentences after taking a child's life, after torturing a defenseless baby, after betraying a family's trust in the worst way possible. 6 sentences, and they barely even said sorry. The judge wasn't impressed. The family wasn't impressed. Nobody was buying whatever weak apology Aisha tried to offer. Then came the moment everyone was waiting for, the sentence. Judge Kelly Ramsey sentenced Aisha Harris to 28 to 50 years in prison. At the earliest, she'd be out sometime before her 60th birthday, almost 3 decades behind bars, half a century at the maximum. But here's what the family knew. No amount of time was enough. Nothing would bring Harmony back. Nothing would undo what happened. But at least Aisha would pay. At least she'd lose her freedom the way Harmony lost her life. And the family made sure Aisha knew exactly what was waiting for her behind those prison walls. One family member looked right at Aisha and said, I hate you so much. No holding back, no politeness, just raw, honest rage. Because how else you supposed to feel when someone murders your baby? Then came the warning. I believe that she's going to suffer in jail. You're not going to make it. They're going to get you. They will. You're going to pay for what you did to her. You will. Because in prison, child killers don't have it easy. Other inmates know what you did, and they don't take kindly to people who hurt babies. Aisha was about to walk into a world where her crime made her a target, where every day would be a struggle, where she'd have to watch her back constantly. And honestly, the family felt like that was part of the justice, that Aisha would know fear, that she'd know what it's like to feel unsafe, that she'd understand even just a little bit what Harmony must have felt in those final moments. The hearing ended. Aisha was let out in handcuffs. The family left the courtroom emotionally drained, but relieved it was over. The legal part anyway. The emotional part, that was going to last forever. Henderson was 3 years old when her life was stolen from her. She had her whole future ahead of her. She could have grown up, could have learned to communicate in her own way, could have lived a full life surrounded by people who loved her. But Aisha Harris took that away. Took it away over frustration, over anger, over something as simple as a child throwing up. This case shook Detroit, shook the whole community, because it made people realize that you can't always tell who's safe and who's not. You can trust someone for years, call them family, let them into your life, and they can still turn out to be dangerous. Paris, England will never be the same. She'll always carry the guilt of leaving Harmony with Aisha that day, even though she had no way of knowing what would happen. She'll always wonder if there was something she could have done differently, some sign she missed, some way she could have protected her baby. Maris Henderson will always hear those words in his head. Blunt force trauma. Blunt force trauma. A 3-year-old autistic baby. That's the kind of pain that doesn't fade. It just becomes part of you. And Harmony, she's gone. But her story matters. It matters because it's a warning. It's a reminder that child abuse is real. That it happens more than we want to admit. And that we all have a responsibility to protect the most vulnerable among us. The community came together after Harmony's death. Paris started a GoFundMe to help with funeral expenses. People donated what they could. Detroit police offered counseling and financial support to the family as they tried to process this trauma. Because that's what it was. Trauma. The kind that doesn't go away. The kind that stays with you forever. Captain Carter and the Detroit Police Department wanted to make something absolutely clear to the public. We'd rather get the call than for something like this to happen, Captain Carter said. If you're ever in a situation where you're caring for a child and you feel overwhelmed, you call for help. You call 911. You call a family member. You call someone. You don't hurt that child. You don't ignore them. You get them help. And if you see something, if you suspect a child is being abused, you speak up. You report it. Because staying silent can cost a life. Remember those statistics I told you at the beginning? Detroit had 420 reports of child abuse just in the first part of that year alone. 420. And those were just the ones that got reported. How many more were happening behind closed doors? How many more kids were suffering in silence? Harmony couldn't speak, couldn't tell nobody what was happening. She was one of the most vulnerable. And the system that was supposed to protect her failed. The person who was supposed to care for her failed. Everything failed. Harmony Henderson deserved so much better than what she got. She deserved to be safe. She deserved to grow up. She deserved to be loved and protected. Instead, she became another statistic, another child lost to violence, another name we have to remember because someone failed to do the right thing. But we're not going to let her be forgotten. We're telling her story so that maybe, just maybe, it prevents another tragedy, so that parents think twice about who they trust, so that caregivers understand the weight of the responsibility they carry, so that communities stay vigilant and look out for the children who can't speak for themselves.
Like the way this sun is shining on me now, I feel like that's my baby. She with me. She letting, it's gonna be okay.
But it's not okay. How could it be okay? Her baby was gone, murdered by someone she trusted. And now she had to live with that reality every single day. But Paris was trying to find some kind of peace, some kind of sign that Harmony was still with her, that her baby girl's spirit was free from the pain and suffering she endured in those final moments. That's all any parent can do when they lose a child. Try to survive it. Try to find a reason to keep breathing. Try to make sure their baby's life and death meant something. So here's what Harmony's death means. It means we can't be complacent. It means we can't assume everyone with a smile is safe. It means we have to ask questions, pay attention, and trust our instincts when something feels off. It means that if you're watching a child, anybody's child, you treat that responsibility like the sacred trust it is. Because that parent is putting their most precious thing in the world in your hands. And if you can't handle that, you say so. You don't fake it. You don't tough it out. You don't get high and lock babies in rooms. It means that our babies are depending on us, all of us. Not just their parents, the whole community. We gotta look out for each other's children like they're our own. Because the next Harmony could be living next door. Could be in your family. Could be somewhere right now suffering in silence, waiting for somebody, anybody to notice and help. Don't let there be another Harmony Henderson. Rest in peace, baby girl. You deserve the world. This is Unheard Cries TV. We tell the stories that matter, the ones about domestic violence, toxic relationships, and the lives lost when people we trust become people we should fear. If this story moved you, hit that subscribe button. We're here to make sure children like Harmony are never forgotten. Drop a comment below. Share this video. Let people know that we're not staying silent about child abuse. Not now, not ever. And if you know a child in danger, if you suspect something isn't right, speak up. Call the authorities. Your voice could save a life. We'll see you next time with another story that needs to be told. Remember Harmony Henderson. Remember her name. Remember what happened to her. And make sure it never happens again. This is Unheard Cries TV. Peace.